Happy New Year, everyone. Welcome to Trades Talk Tuesday. I'm your host, Pop Culture Mechanic. You can call me Pop for short. And it's the start of a new year. 2024, here we are. And I will be bringing you more Trades Talk, more information from the industrial side of things. And also information about how to get into the skilled trades and what to expect when you do get into it. As I so often do, we will start out with the news of the week. And I do that via Plant Magazine. Because when you view what the news out in industry is, you can tell how good your economy is, how many factories are being built, or how many are being shut down, or who's on strike, or all that kind of news that's important. Before I get to that, though, I'd like to say hello to James. He says, howdy, y'all. And it's like, howdy right back, sir. Nice to have you along. And anyone else that is happen to be lurking and listening on Kick or on Rumble, or if you're on Twitch, or, of course, YouTube. I welcome you all. Let's start off here with some news put out today. Amid the push for EV adoption, pickup trucks are the next frontier. Well, we'll see about that. What's it say here? Michael LaRoche replaced his Ford F-150 pickup truck with its electric twin, the F-150 Lightning, about a year and a half ago. A Sherbrooke, Quebec resident who installs electric vehicle chargers for a living, LaRoche says he drives somewhere between 300 and 400 kilometers a day, 3 to 4 times a week. After he replaced the combustion engine pickup with the electric alternative, he says the cost of his operations has dropped significantly. Yeah, I'm not buying that right off the bat, because your initial outlay of money for your vehicle, that electric vehicle, is about almost twice as much as a regular vehicle. So we'll see. I'm charging the truck during the night for something like 14 to 15 hours to fully charge the truck, and I'm ready to go. Okay, so 14 to 15 hours. So if you even charge it for 12 hours, so that is like you getting home from work, plugging it in and not touching it for the rest of the night. You know, I mean, do you not have anywhere else to go when you get home from work? Do you not have to go out and do things? Most people do. Most people, when they get home, you know, they go and have dinner and then they go out and they do something else. But you're charging it for 14 to 15 hours. So even if it was 12 hours, and let's say he plugged it in at 5 o'clock, it's ready to go at 5 o'clock in the morning for 12 hours. But 14 to 15, so even if you plug it in at 5 p.m., it won't be ready until 7 a.m. or maybe even 8 a.m. And sometimes most houses don't have the capacity to install a charging station by the garage anyway, because your panels are just too small. You don't have enough service. There's a company that built an electric semi-tractor hybrid, no plugs required. Really? It must just run on the electricity created from the internal combustion engine to charge a battery then? I'd like to see that. He goes along here. He said his monthly electric bill, which includes both household consumption and vehicle charging, is now at $350 on average for the last 15 months. The bill may be costly, but a better alternative when compared to LaRoche's $450 a week on gasoline, saving him $1,400 a month in fuel costs. Okay. Oh, in Canada, it's got a diesel generator. I see, James. I see. The federal government has set sales targets for new vehicle sales, shifting to electric only by 2035, including pickup trucks. This is highly unreasonable. It's not going to work. You're going to try to force everybody to drive electric by 2035. It's not going to fly. I don't care what they say. You got one like a Prius or a Chevy Volt? Okay. Hey, Jay's daddy, how you doing? Nice to see you. We're just talking about this guy. I'm reading an article. This guy switched over from his gasoline truck to an electric truck. So he's trying to tout how awesome it is, saving money on fuel. But he has to charge it for like 14 to 15 hours a night. It says Canadians don't yet have many electric trucks to choose from, with only the F-150 Lightning and Rivian R1T pickups. General Motors and Ram are both expected to join the range in 2024. Electric pickup trucks are built to efficiently lug heavier weights, such as towing or pulling a trailer, similar to gas-powered ones. The gas-guzzling stereotype carries over too. EV pickup trucks need a big electrical charge. Well, yes. The more you pull around, the more you're going to use. You're going to need more battery power. Yeah, it said electric pickup trucks are built to efficiently lug heavier weights. You still need to make the thing so it can haul a trailer and such. You're not going to... People haul trailers with an F350, right? An F250. This guy's saying he's got an F150. You can't haul a lot of weight with that. It's not built for it. The suspension needs to be beefier. You need to have something that's heavy duty. Electric cars are puke. Yeah, they are. About 1 million right now, but that's hand built to order at the moment. Oh, hand built. Yeah, that's going to be super expensive. Anything hand built is. You can provide a link. Okay. If you're pulling something on your pickup truck, you're going to burn more gas per kilometer, and your tank will not bring you as far as it usually would. Same thing is true for an electric version, yes. Higher battery consumption is expected in electric pickup trucks, said Mark Marmer, founder of the electrical contracting business Signature Electric. He said trucks are designed for heavy lifting, which is different from a passenger EV. Yes, it is. Still, Marmer acknowledged it can be challenging if the driver has to stop more often. Okay. You have to be aware of loads and thinking about it. Have I allowed enough time? Do I know which charger I'm going to go to if I need it? Is it going to get me to my destination properly? I think you have a little too much anxiety if you're going to have to worry about where your next charger has to be. LaRoche agreed that his pickup truck consumes its charge faster when a trailer is attached. Yes. When I'm driving without the trailer, I'm okay to do back and forth from Montreal without charging, he said, from Sherbrooke. That's a round trip of about 300 kilometers. It's about 200 miles for you guys. But when I use the trailer, I need to charge the truck for around 20 to 25 minutes at a fast charger. The battery size in the truck is bigger than small electric vehicles, but the range remains the same. Marmer said this relates to the size of the vehicle, bigger payload and everything else, so it's not getting any more range but needs a bigger battery. The latest electric pickup trucks can be cost prohibitive for those looking to replace their gas counterpart, in part due to the high-end finish and novelty of the make. That's kind of ridiculous, if you ask me. Just because it's electric, you don't have to make it look all flashy and, futuristic. It's just a vehicle. Make it look like the vehicle that you see around all the time. Don't make it look like it's from the future. Marmer said the electric pickup trucks, despite being pricier for commercial use, are unbelievably reliable. Yeah, okay. You're just putting them out now. Don't tell me they're all reliable. He said EVs in general work in a simple mechanism compared to gas or diesel vehicle. Simplicity in the vehicle itself and the minimal amount of care it takes to run is what really going to make it survive. Well, that's all great and dandy, you're touting how great these are. I'll tell you right now, batteries hate the cold. You're in Canada, it gets cold here. Your battery isn't going to last as long as it would be in a warmer climate. Hybrid's the only way. It's maybe viable. Yeah, Jay's daddy, I agree. You got to have something there, an internal combustion engine to at least help it along. However, they built it and beat Tesla to market, which is important. This is a hybrid Edison motor, I think. Oh, okay. Yeah, 300K is about 186 miles. Sounds about right to me. Checks out. Also, off-the-shelf parts. You can buy the parts and maintain yourself. No special orders. Yeah. Mostly they don't let you digging around in there. And with battery-powered vehicles and all that, I'm not going to be rooting around where there's high voltage and everything like that. I don't want to die. I'm sure we're going to hear a lot of stories about people who get shocked by their battery and killed. It's only a matter of time. The more that these become more mainstream, more common, you're probably going to hear people and see videos of people getting shocked by screwing around inside the engine compartment or the battery compartment. Let's see. Canada's 100 highest paid CEOs broke new compensation records in 2022. Yeah, big surprise. AECON Group names Order of Ontario. Don't care. ATC partners with Amazon. Who is ATC? Tesla batteries already explode in heavy rain. Oh, great. Right on, eh? That's, yeah, that's crazy. You know, how many of them are just going to burn down when they're sitting in the yard? I guess we'll find out. Yeah, James, F around, find out. You got her, buddy. The partnership will allow Amazon employees to build skills in automotive fields. Since 1984, the Automotive Training Center has met the training requirements of the automobile sector and has developed and updated their programs and curriculum to meet the training needs of the automotive industry. The school aims to provide our students with relevant practical job-related training for their career in the automotive and transportation fields. With this aim in mind, ATC is now to offer eligible Amazon employees in Surrey, Montreal, Cambridge, and Toronto job-related career skills training in this field of study as part of Amazon's Career Choice program. The Career Choice program was launched globally in 2012 and is designed to ease the financial burden of education by covering 95% of tuition, fees, and book costs within annual and lifetime limits. We're looking forward to ATC coming on board as an education partner for Career Choice, adding to the hundreds of best-in-class offerings available to our employees, said Tammy Thyman, Global Director of Amazon's Career Choice program. We're committed to empowering our employees by providing them access to the education and training they need to grow their careers, whether that's with us or elsewhere. We have intentionally created a partner network of third-party educators and employers committed to providing excellent education, job placement resources, and continuous improvements to the experience. Friend of yours in Florida had his blow up last year in a storm. Oh, man. Can't put them out. They start, then asphalt on. Oh, yeah. Any electrical fire, you need a special extinguisher to put it out. And especially if it's going to be self-perpetuating, like a battery fire. Yeah, it's going to be crazy. You just let the thing burn to the ground. I don't think you can even stop it. It's huge, and it seems to be well hidden from most people. Fire departments can only keep the fire from spreading while that happens. Yeah, there you go. Well, good for Amazon. I mean, don't just be a mindless automaton. If you're working at Amazon as a picker or something like that, or whatever jobs they have you doing there, do what you can to improve your skills in life and your education. It'll get you even further along so you can earn better money and have better skill set to survive in the world, rather than just being like I say, don't be a mindless automaton. Don't just be I do this. Make your life better for yourself. And it's good that if they can, people can take advantage of this and learn automotive training. You wish you had an Amazon near you? It's just a keystroke away, isn't it? Oh, do they pay really well? There's one down by our airport. I know that. There's a big Amazon warehouse there. Oil and gas employee pays $400,000 to ASC and agrees to 10-year trading ban after insider trading. Insider trading. Okay. Yeah. You're dumb. You're dumb if you do this. Don't do trading of stocks when you have insider information. You're going to get caught. You're just an employee. You're an oil and gas employee. You're not like a big shot businessman, tycoon, whatever, who won't get caught because they know how to get through the loopholes. So don't do that stuff. They pay really well. They also wear out help. They start at $25 an hour at the 1-2 hours from you. Wow. $25 an hour is pretty good. Yeah, nice. Your nephew got hurt. He got nothing. No help. Maybe severance. Oh man. No, that's dumb. Getting hurt and then not getting anything for it. There should be some sort of compensation or something. DJ Ronnie G. Yes, you're late. We're waiting for you. Hey, and Gap, After Dark, how you doing? Good to see you. Only Congress can do the inside of trading. Yes, Jay's daddy, you got her, buddy. You got her. That's the way I look at it. We're just peons. If we try to do the things that those people do that are in high powers and all that, we get caught. Caught and punished. Severely. They get caught, slap on the wrist, or, don't do that again, or a fine or something. But nope, we get pitched into jail. What else we got here? AutoCanada receives $25 million investment for online marketplace digital division. Here's something. Price cuts boost Tesla fourth quarter sales, beating estimates as electric vehicle growth rate slows. You see that? The growth rate slowing. For the full year, Tesla said it sold just over 1.8 million vehicles, up 37% from 2022. Steep price cuts helped electric vehicle maker Tesla increase its fourth quarter vehicle sales by almost 20% as EV sales growth slowed across the industry. The Austin, Texas company said Tuesday that it sold 484,507 vehicles worldwide from October through December. That handily beat Wall Street estimates of 473,000 for the quarter, according to data provider FactSet. For the full year, Tesla said it sold just over 1.8 million vehicles, up 37.7%. Full year sales numbers fell far short of CEO Elon Musk's prediction of 50% sales growth in most years. But the company did exceed as an internal target for the year of 1.8 million vehicle sales. Tesla chopped prices in the U.S. multiple times during the year, at times by $20,000 on some of its higher-priced models. Even its lowest-priced model, the rear-wheel drive 3, saw a cut of at least $6,600. Industry analysts expect the price cuts to trim Tesla's profit margins when it reports earnings on January 24th after the markets close. That'll be on a Wednesday. The increase helped Tesla hold off Chinese powerhouse BYD to keep the title as of the world's top seller of electric vehicles. Fast-growing BYD reported a 73% EV sales increase for last year to 1.57 million. As usual, the bulk of Tesla sales were its lower-priced Model 3s and Y, with deliveries of 461,000 globally over the fourth quarter. That was up 19% from a year ago. Sales of its other models, mainly the S and X, with some new Cybertrucks, grew 34%. The company didn't break out sales for individual models. The company produced nearly 495,000 vehicles for the quarter, about 10,000 more than it delivered. Tesla shares fell slightly in Tuesday afternoon trading. I would be very careful of the Chinese powerhouse BYD, it says, for their electric cars. I'm not buying those anytime soon, I'll tell you right now. I'm not even buying a Tesla, so I'm not even going to worry about it. It's completely legal to follow SEC notices and duplicate what a Congress critter does. Yeah, but I'm sure they'll find something to trip you up on and throw you in the slammer. Anything. Boo EVs. Hey, Godzillionaire. Nice to see you. Teslas are just veganism on wheels. Yeah, not the ones that don't keep quiet about it. They're the noisy ones that are like, you shouldn't eat meat. The militant ones. I feel like people mainly buy Tesla because Joe Rogan said they are good. Oh, okay. Yeah, he's probably influenced a lot of people. I like how he does his interviews. You know, he's just an MMA guy, a stand-up comic, you know, that's all. It's just, he just asks questions and doesn't care. But I like the fact that he has like 3-hour-long interviews with people. You want a car with a Tesla coil for a hood ornament. Yeah, but it's got to work at least, DJ. Every Tesla driver you talk to brings him up? Oh, really? He's one of those guys. They're quiet and fast, Tesla meme cars? Yeah. Need your coffee? You go grab some coffee there, James. You have strong, unwarranted opinion on short road. Yeah, that's fine. I mean, people like him, hate him. I'm pretty indifferent to the guy. I like the fact that he had this fella named Randall Carlson on, and just to listen to him talk, wow, this guy, that Randall Carlson, it was great hearing him talk. I thoroughly enjoyed it. It was like a 3-hour long. He's got like 3-hour long podcasts with Randall Carlson on. Really fun stuff. You didn't say an NEV? You want a gas-powered car with a Tesla coil on the hood. Okay, yeah, there you go. Take that, right? Well, that looks like it's it for the news. Not much really sparked my interest today. There was a few things, but that was just because they're all from today. There's a big gap from the 19th, when we had our last article, to the 2nd, so. You want a Tesla for your shooting range? Nice. You're going to take it out on the shooting range? Are you going to shoot it at the shooting range? Are you going to... why do you want it for a shooting range? Are you going to use it to help pick up casings? I'm curious, Jay's daddy. I got to know what are you going to use it for out there? You just going to use it to get back and forth to the shooting range? Ah, well, now that we're done with the news, some of the bigger gun tubers want to test how bulletproof a Cybertruck is. Oh, didn't I see? If I was watching YouTube Shorts and I think I saw somebody was like, there's a Cybertruck that crashed or something, and it didn't work out so well. It didn't survive very well. Anyways, for some of you new people that have come along, I welcome you wholeheartedly. I'm very pleased to see you here. The way the show goes is I usually start off with the news of the week. So we've gone through that now. And next up, I will move to how do you get into the skilled trades? If you're interested in that, that's what I'm going to do next. And this article is from Indeed. So not only do they have job listings, but they also have how-tos, which I think is really great. Because the information is out there, you just have to find it. Lol cows are insufferable. And they are not bulletproof? Not much is bulletproof when you use a 50 cal. Yeah. Yes. Okay. Speaking of bulletproof. Okay. Remind me after I go through the articles here. I have something to show you guys about being bulletproof. Many trades are in high demand. As the need for more experienced labor employees continues to grow, there are several types of trades that you may explore and research before deciding to enter into a trade. Trade jobs tend to be in industries such as transportation, construction, manufacturing, and maintenance. However, trades are also in career sectors like culinary arts, healthcare, and cosmetology. In this article, we provide a definition of what trades are, list trades, and discuss how you can enter a trade. Let's see if they do a good job here. What are trades? Trades are jobs that require advanced or specialized skills that are gained through experience, on-the-job training, and vocational courses. Trade careers are typically known to be more stable and require technical ability. Trades are often jobs that may be physically or mentally demanding in some way. There are many trades you may consider when choosing a career path. Here are some trade jobs categorized by industry that you may consider. So, mechanical trades. Mechanical trades work with a variety of heavy and light machinery. Typically, they work on fixing the machinery rather than operating it. Here are some examples. HVAC installer. I've always said that HVAC is so important. Whether it's air conditioning in the summer or heating in the winter, everyone always wants theirs to work properly. So you need your furnace, you're going to call this guy. You need an AC done, you're going to call this guy. They're gun proof, kills the charge quicker. How about a Google car with the cameras replaced by the Tesla coil? Yeah, that'd be alright. You want to become a Milrong? Oh, you could only be so lucky, DJ. There's machinist, locksmith, elevator mechanic, auto mechanic, mechanical drafter, mechanical insulator, and mechanical installer. For the construction trades, there's a carpenter, electrician, painter, mason, carpet installer, welder, plumber, landscaper, dredger, fencer, heavy equipment operator, pile driver. Yeah, in construction trades, you're usually doing new construction. So you go from nothing, like a blank lot, to putting a building on and doing the framework and putting the skin on, right? Pouring the foundation, all that kind of stuff. The industrial trades. This is my wheelhouse. It includes jobs that deal with technology and manufacturing. These trade jobs involve building, designing, and problem solving. Here are some examples. Iron worker, steam engineer, cargo freight engineer, line installer and repairer, asbestos worker, paving equipment operator, metal fabricator, boiler makers. I just want to make a point to say that you don't, a lot of engineers aren't tradesmen, right? They go right from high school into engineering or university to take engineering. They do not know the trades. So those are the most annoying ones to deal with because they have no practical experience. But yeah, that's when they throw engineers up here, I would say you're not in the trades if you're an engineer. I'll tell you right now. That's heavy stuff and a lot of travel if you want it. Yeah, it is. Fencer, you love swords? En garde, Godzillionaire. Asbestos mitigation is big bucks? I would think so. Oh man, that stuff is so deadly. People are going to pay big money to get rid of it. I work in a building that's from the 1960s, and we are not allowed to drill into the outer wall, either from the inside or outside of the building, just because there is asbestos in the walls. So, you think those are engineers like train driver engineer? Oh, okay. Thanks for the clarification, Godzillionaire. Yeah, you're probably right. Steam engineer. But then again, there is stationary steam in industrial plants. But cargo freight engineer, that's probably dealing with like the choo-choos. In the medical trades, respiratory therapist, phlebotomist, clinical laboratory technician, paramedic, dental assistant, medical assistant. You would think they would get rid of those asbestos buildings for health and safety reasons, but they just let them sit there. So if you don't disturb asbestos, it's okay. It just sits there, and as long as you don't disturb it and make dust, it's fine. It's when they start disturbing it. And for us, they'd have to knock the building down and we'd have to leave. And that's not happening. The plant has to run. And they're not gonna do the expense. The expense of building up a new building, they aren't gonna do that. Phlebotomist sounds a lot like lobotomy. Well, you never know. You may have to have your head examined to be one. We'll have to see about that. There's the culinary arts and cosmetology. So a hairstylist, a nail technician, a beautician, makeup artist, esthetician, a chef, a baker, a pastry artist, a restaurant manager, and a food technologist. I don't know if I like food technologist. That doesn't sound like a good thing. It sounds like you're messing around with abominations against nature. But that's just me. Like we say in Wupstotska, workers are cheaper, buildings are expensive. Yes, Godzillionaire. Hail to the leader. Now we're getting to the nitty-gritty here. How to enter a trade. Choosing a trade as your career path can be rewarding and exciting. There are a few different ways you can get into a trade. Some companies in certain industries choose to hire entry-level employees without education, and they train them in-house. Others require certifications, an associate degree, or a registered apprenticeship before hiring. Here are some steps you can take to enter a trade. Number 1, complete high school. It's a good start. It's a good way to weed out people. That doesn't pay well unless you own the shop. Yeah. Chef, barber. Yeah, for sure. The minimum educational requirements for most trade jobs is a high school diploma or GED. While you're in high school, you may consider taking a shop class or woodworking class through your school or another local program. This may help you decide what trade you'd like to enter. You can also practice some safe trade skills on your own at home to get an idea of what interests you. There's also in our province what's called the RAP program. So as you're in high school, you can you can be indentured as an apprentice, and you can go and get on the job training and hours that go towards your apprenticeship. So that's pretty good. Number 2, pick a trade. Once you complete high school or your GED, it's time for you to consider which trade interests you the most. If you prefer being creative and working with your hands rather than sitting at a desk, then you may consider more of the skilled trades. If you know you like to fix cars, then you may consider becoming an auto mechanic. Trade careers may directly correlate with your hobbies. For instance, you may try writing down the things you like to do and then write down a few job descriptions that interest you next to it. Circle the things that the jobs and your hobbies have in common. You may end up choosing the trade that has the most common with your interests. Some other good ways that may assist you in picking a trade are to talk with a few people who work in the trades that you are interested in. Research pay and growth for each trade and review job opportunities. That one, I think, is the one that should really be put number 1. You want to be a welder? Go talk to a welder. See what it's like. Ask them if you can be a welder's helper for a day, just to see if it's what you think it's all cracked up to be. And just talk to tradesmen. Talk to them. They will. Most of them, majority of them, should be more than happy to share their experience with you and let you know what it's like. You think phlebotomy is drawing blood, a necessary base level medical skill, just after taking vital signs? Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm not sure myself. Number 3, select an educational program. You may choose to go to a technical school or take certification classes at a community college. Each trade has different requirements, and not all trades require formal education. However, taking formal education classes can help you gain a competitive advantage over other candidates. And this is what you want out there. You want to have that advantage over other people. You're going for a job. You've got the formal education you can throw on your resume. The other guy doesn't. Hopefully they choose you. You know, if you're like, hey, at least that'll get you in the door for an interview. Whereas if somebody else didn't, they'd be like, well, he doesn't have any kind of previous experience. So always try to have some, try to get some of that, an edge over other people. Because it's all about, you're all out there in competition against each other. Many trades accept certificates instead of requiring an associate's degree or higher. This means you can take classes that are directly related to your career and obtain a certificate in 2 years or less, depending on the program. Most apprenticeships are 4 years. It is recommended that you research the requirements for the trade you are interested in, entering before you enter an educational program. This way you know the specific requirement before you begin a program. There you go. Many are terrible at it. Actually run veins right through. Ay. And it happened to you once? That's terrible. Like, that's just the sign of a bad nurse or doctor if they can't even do that properly. Number 4 is obtain an apprenticeship. Next step is in search for an apprenticeship program that allows you to develop skills while you're trained on the job. You may find apprenticeships through local trade unions, training institutions, professional associations, or employment agencies and programs, or even at the company you're working at. If you work at a company that has electricians, millwrights, welders, stuff like that, you can be like, hey, I am interested in, being an apprentice for one of these, the tradesmen. And maybe that'll work out for you. Oh, is that a plasma donation center? Okay. Oof. Another option you may consider is applying for a registered apprenticeship program that is offered through public and private sector businesses. There may be some ongoing classes that you're required to take during your apprenticeship. There should be, anyway. There should be classes to take. Sometimes it's from 6 to 8 weeks. Apprenticeships typically take about 1 to 6 years to complete, depending on the trade, and you can expect to learn the trade, gain specialized skills, and receive some payment for it. Yes. Every time you pass a year in school, you should go back to work and they should give you a raise. You will always earn a percentage of what the journeyman makes. So if you're a first year, you're going to earn 60%. Second year, you'll earn 70. Third year, you'll earn 80. Fourth year, you'll earn 90. And then when you're a journeyman, you'll earn 100%. Get licensed. Another item that you may need requires a license that assures your right to work or practice your skilled trade. Licensing is not necessary for all trades, and the requirements may vary by state. This might be an American thing as well. I'm not quite sure. I don't know if they have what's called a red seal. So after you get your, when you're a journeyman, you can take the test to be a red seal, and all red seal is an interprovincial, which means you can practice all across or use your trade across the country. I don't know if they have something like that in the States, but they have it here. But you don't have to get your red seal. It just means when you go to another province to work, if that's what you do, then you'll have to write a test there as well. About 5 years, can be less with overtime. Okay. After you complete your apprenticeship, you can become a journeyman. Becoming a journeyman suggests that you have passed necessary examinations and put enough on-the-job training to practice your trade under your own license, rather than working under the license of a more experienced tradesman. Depending on your trade, you may need to work as a journeyman anywhere from 1 to 5 years before you can become a master tradesman. Master tradesmen can work in supervisory roles, and the pay is typically increased due to your expertise. Yeah, you're usually the guy that everybody comes to. You're either the lead hand or the supervisor, and you start telling the guys how to do things and what to do. So there you go. Where I'm at in Alberta, it's they have a very good setup for apprenticeship and industry training. Like, really good. It's amazing, amazing all the information they can throw at you for finding out what you need to know. Right. And here's the list of trades that are in the province here. 50 weeks times 40 hours equals 2,000 hours a year. You think journeyman is 10,000 hours? Sounds about right, yeah. For what I did, it was 1,540 hours, I think, every year. So yeah, that's they add that up, and you had your 8,000 hours or whatever it was for your 4th year. Colored dots. The green means classroom instruction, red is Red Seal, and yellow is compulsory. Yeah, master, I know there's master electrician. I don't think there's a master millwright. At least not that I've heard of yet. There we go. Yes, so there is quite a lot of trades. I think there's like 140 of them or something like that. I am the master. No, DJ, no. I can't call myself that. Yeah, no problem. Yep. But yes, alphabetically, right? Agricultural equipment technician. So you're working on tractors and stuff. Anything to do with agricultural. Appliance service technician, right? Obviously, appliances. There's appliance service technician for commercial, because commercial appliances are a lot more robust, a lot better built than just regular appliances. Millwrights do all the things and have the other trades check their work. Is how that usually goes? Maybe in some places, but you know what? I don't have any other trades come and check my work. First of all, I won't touch anything electrical. I'm not an electrician. If anything electrical needs to be done, call electrician. I'm not touching it. And there's Angry Canadian. Hey man, how you doing? Nice to see you. Glad to hear you're doing all right. Pour the concrete. Once again, I'm not a concrete technician. They want concrete poured, they can call somebody in to do that. It's how it works here. I'm not going to do any of that stuff. I'm not certified and qualified for it at all. Auto body technician. There's a lot of those. Automotive service technician, so mechanic. We get into the B's. There's baker, barber, boilermaker, bricklayer. There's C is cabinet maker, carpenter. Oh, cathodic protection. That's dealing with pipelines and making sure that they don't get, they run an electrical current through them so they don't degrade when they're sitting in the ground. It's really neat. I do a little bit of investigating, or I take readings, cathodic readings, to make sure our pipeline is okay. So I have to do that once a month. Oh, you're saying how it's done as an independent contractor or an employee of an independent. Okay. Yeah, I'm not a contractor or anything like that. I work at a facility and as an employee, and that's sort of the rules we have to follow when we're there. That's similar to galvanic corrosion preventing thing. Yeah, it protects the pipeline. And I think they run a charge through it. Like, we're talking like millivolts, I think. And it's supposed to keep it from breaking down, because you don't want anything, you don't want the pipe breaking down and spilling any of the contents into the ground. Angry Shipyards will start up soon. Nice. I like that. Yeah, and much does depend on the boss. Yeah, you're right. There's communication technician, concrete finisher, construction craft worker, a cook, crane and hoisting equipment operator for a boom truck, a mobile crane, a tower crane, or a wellhead boom truck. So yeah, crane operator. There's a lot of sitting around and waiting for the lift to happen when you're a crane operator. See the Flint, Michigan water supply? I think I've heard bad things about that. I don't think there was too much good coming out of Flint, Michigan for water. Under E, we have electric motor systems technician, electrician, elevator constructor. So yeah, elevator is its own thing. When you learn to do that trade, that's pretty cool. You're dealing with nothing but elevators. I'd also heard, and I don't know if I'll see it on here, but like ski lift mechanic. So I've heard of guys going to work at the ski hills and work on all the ski lifts and all that, and tow ropes and everything like that, and they seem to like it okay. F, field heat treatment technician or floor covering installer. G, gas utility operator, gas fitter. A and B, a glazer. So you're dealing with glass all the time. You cheaped out. It has a high dollar and human health cost associated with it. Oh. Yeah, you don't mess around with a city's water. Yeah, ski lift mechanic does sound too cold. You got her, AC. That's you better dress warm for that. It's not even over yet. Oh. You hope Glazer dealt with donuts? Yeah, he works with the baker, Godzillionaire. Hairstyle, heavy equipment technician. Heavy equipment technician off-road. Then there's transport trailer, and then there's truck and transport mechanic. So there's 4 levels of heavy equipment technician. Industrial construction crew supervisor, industrial mechanic / millwright, instrumentation and control technician, insulator, an iron worker for metal building systems, for reinforcing, and structural and ornamental. So there's a couple of subsections of iron worker. Depends. Fix those in the summer. Leave it before it snows. Yeah. The only thing that would happen in the wintertime would be like emergency breakdowns if something goes wrong. You would typically do it in the off season for sure. But then, there's always those things that pop up, trouble or whatever that you don't expect. Now you want real? You want real donuts? Ski lift mechanic rule number 1: don't lick the pole. Yes, DJ, don't do that. Or if Lloyd gets his tongue stuck. Yeah, from Dumb and Dumber. Under L, landscape horticulturalist, a lather, interior systems mechanic, and a locksmith. M is machinist, metal fabricator, also known as a fitter, and a motorcycle mechanic. N, natural gas compression technician. So with a lot of the coal powered power plants switching over to natural gas, there's going to be a lot more natural gas compression technicians needed to take care of those engines to make the power. Under O, it's oil and gas transportation services, outdoor power equipment technician for power equipment and for recreational equipment. Overhead door technician level 1 and level 2. No thanks. I don't want to ever be an overhead door technician. Those springs scare me. The amount of tension that are on them, and you have to crank them by hand. No thanks. I'll let somebody else do that. A lather, not much call for wet plaster these days. Yeah. Under the P's, painter and decorator. parts technician, materials technician, and parts technician, parts technician. Those are like double, but okay. Plumber, power systems electrician, and power line technician. Okay, then now you're getting into the high voltage stuff. It's really crazy. No, thank you. A recreation vehicle service technician. So you're dealing with RVs all the time. Refrigeration and air conditioning mechanic. Residential construction site manager. A roofer. Yeah, gone are the days of walking around on the roof with nothing, no protection or anything. They want you all harnessed up now. With a fall protection system and all that kind of good stuff if you're a roofer. Sheet metal worker. Slick line services, all levels. I'm guessing that's to do with oil and gas. Snubbing services, probably the same thing, oil and gas stuff. Sprinkler systems installer, a steam fitter, pipe fitter, and a steel detailer. You installed one once, not super bad, but to quote the instructions, use extreme caution when. Yeah, for the overhead door, yeah. Yeah, no thanks. Under the T's, transport refrigeration technician. W's, water well driller. Earth loop technician. A welder wire process operator. And weld testing services. Okay, for welder, I don't know why they divided it up to wire process. I think as a welder, you should be exposed to all of that stuff, whether it's working with, a stick, or you got a MIG and you're pulling the trigger on a MIG gun, or a TIG, or just all that. They should know that. They should know how to solder, even like silver solder, all that stuff they should know. It'll make you a more well-rounded welder when it comes to doing things. But yes, that is the list of a lot of the trades. There is so many of them. And I mean, that's just listing them. And then you can click on them. Like, let's click on bricklayer. And it tells you all about it. You count quarter turns to keep the left and right spring tension approximately equal. That's the way to do it. Got to do it somehow. Because you don't want it to be have too much and it lifts the door up too quickly and takes too much weight off of it. Or you don't want it too loose, because then it's going to be harder to lift up. It's not going to help you. Just that part took about 2 hours? Yeah, I believe it. So they tell you what bricklayers do. They interpret drawings, blueprints, calculate materials required, measure from an established starting point, and construct corners first using a plumb line and mason's level to ensure each layer will be level from corner to corner. You spread mortar over the base of the previous layer, spread more mortar on the end of the brick to be laid, and lay the bricks into position. Remove the excess mortar. Use a hammer and chisel or a masonry saw to cut bricks to fit. Tells you what they're authorized to perform. The restricted activities of this trade include all this. Program information, it'll tell you about the information requirements for apprenticeship or a trades qualifier. There's program credit, high school credit you can get. There's the supporting resources they have, trade information, job information, entrance requirement, curriculum guide, classroom instruction, financial assistance, examinations, and legislation. Look at that. This thing has so much information that you can use just for the one trade, being a bricklayer. The rest was hand assembling the door itself. So one garage door, one guy, all day. Yeah, there you go. The first one never did it before. Oh, yeah. And yeah, it's always going to take you the longest. The very first thing you've done, if you've never done it before, that's going to take you it's going to take the longest. Second one, not as long. You've got all the shortcuts down that you can use. What goes where, how to do things. And yes, that is the information for a bricklayer. Next up, I think what I'll do is you get to see a little video. I know you guys like videos. So, as some of you may or may not know, I did work in the waste management sector, disposing of waste and recycling. So I know a bit about it. I spent 15 years in there, and I learned quite a lot. And this is a video that I found on YouTube that someone had made about it. And we're going to see here, they're talking about how it all starts out. And how in the future they're going to try to convert all the plastics to ethanol, but I doubt that's going to work. I've seen the facility that does it, and it doesn't work well. So the first thing they said, the garbage trucks dump all their garbage off here, and it gets sorted. As you can see, that's a lot of garbage, and everything comes there. Look at mattresses, all that stuff. Things get sorted out. Right now he's dumping it right there where it goes to get sorted. These guys are, the stuff is hand sorted. Stuff that is not going to be composted. Right? Carpets. Right? Stuff like that. Ball. You know, tires. Steel's easier, plastic sucks. Yeah, it does. Right? Don't throw your propane tanks in the garbage. That's just ridiculous. So these things are big spinning screens. This thing is huge. They call them trommels, and all they are is, here's what it looks like on the inside. So it's a giant rotating screen, has holes in it. The material falls through the holes, so it separates it out. The stuff that doesn't fall through the holes goes to the end and gets dumped out. You can see it has knives here. I guess that rips open the bags that are thrown in there. And you can see there, you have quite the line of spikes. And there's a mag belt that will pick out the metal out of the material. And then it gets sent over, as you can see. There's the, looks like grass coming out of that one, and it goes over to the composting facility. And at this facility, the wood chips and biosolids, which is a fancy name for human waste, it gets put into these blue containers here. I'll show you again. No, not there. These blue mixers. So these blue mixers get a combination of wood chips and concentrated human waste. Steel's easier. Yeah, just melt it down. And then it's the metallurgist's job. If this was in the old days in New York, the mafia would own this facility. And they wouldn't need to invest in concrete shoes. Yeah. I think, I think DJ Ronnie G's trying to tell us something. Maybe we should take him for a ride. You worked in plastic parts manufacturing? It sucks a lot. Ooh. Yeah, I wouldn't want to deal with that. So these things are what I was talking about the other day. Big drum digesters. These things are enormous. They're about 150 feet long and 15 feet in diameter. And they spin at 1 RPM. So the maximum speed this thing will spin at is 1 RPM. And it takes about 2 days for the material to travel from one end to the other. And there's the outlet. You'll see it there. There's 4 doors, and they're numbered. You can see them. I'll have to back it up a little. You can see there's four openings. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And these, you can open those to let the stuff out onto the conveyor belt. At this point, the stuff is composted about 80%. Inside this drum digester, it gets up to about 60 degrees Celsius. So quite hot. And that helps break down the material. And it will dump it onto a conveyor belt. As you can see right there, there's the conveyor belt. And there's the stuff that's broken down. Like I say, it's about 80% broken down. And then it goes into another screen with smaller holes. But it does the same thing. It sorts out everything that can fall through the holes will. There's also another mag belt, which grabs all the metals out of there, as you can see. Let's go back there a little bit, have a look at what was falling out of there. So, a lot of lids from cans. You can see there's right there is a lighter. Lots of nails. And the occasional, you'd see some coins and stuff too. You'd get some quarters, sometimes some loonies, which are like Canadian dollars, because we have a dollar coin. Speaking of toxic fumes, you're fetching yourself a cancer enhancer cigarette? Well, alright then. But yes, as you can see, there's a lot. We'd see a lot of spoons, knives, forks. All sorts of stuff would get sorted and pulled out of the garbage. Then it goes here, and I've showed you guys this. Anyone who's familiar with the stream, it's not around anymore, but this was the largest stainless steel building in North America. It's about, what is it? Oh, I want to say 1,000 feet long and 600 feet wide. It has 3 of these large bays with the machines in them that go back and forth and aerate the compost. So now it's getting down better and better, breaking down into compost. This machine goes back and forth as it uses its giant twin screws, which are right here. And yes, it goes and makes windrows, and it drags all the material eventually to the left-hand side of your screen, where it is dumped onto a belt and sent to another screen. An entire building? Imagine that. You betcha. And there you go. There it is right there. So there's a paddle wheel that once they can put it in as deep or as shallow as they like, but they can put that in there and go along and pull material and pull it onto the conveyor belt right there. And that sends that to another area of the plant. There it goes. Yeah, there's a better shot of it. It's loading the stuff. It's a big paddle wheel. There's the augers. Those things just turn up the material. They aerate all the material. You can see to the far right there is what is known as a tripper car. And what a tripper car does is it rides along a conveyor belt, and it also has a conveyor belt on it, and it shoots stuff to the side at a 90-degree angle. That's exactly what it is, James. Windrows. They would do windrows, and the material would take about 3 weeks to get pulled from right there where it's entering. Let's hold it here. So the material enters here on the tripper car. As you can see, the belt goes around this pulley, and then it comes around this pulley, then it goes underneath. But it dumps the material on this belt that's running at 90 degrees so it can spit it out. And then, yeah, it just that's where the start of it is. Bad having you fix that if it broke down or anything in there. I did. Gap. I did have to work on this stuff. We would have to do preventative maintenance. We'd have to change the conveyor belt. This guy here. Or we'd have to get this belt changed, and that was a hassle. Or we'd have to change the bearings that were on the supports holding up the tripper car. There was a lot of work to do, on this thing. And it was not fun, because I don't know if you guys are aware, but inside of a composting building, it is about 30 degrees C or about 90 Fahrenheit and about 80% humidity. So you can sweat in here, but it doesn't go anywhere. So it's an extremely hostile environment. It's very hellish, as I would always tell the bosses there. I'm like, we work in a hellish environment. It's not great. But yes, I've done my fair share of repairs in there. And once the material is sent from that building, this building, it goes to this building, which is known as they would call it the finishing circuit, because it's where they finish off the material. There's up here is another rotating screen with smaller holes in it, and it lets the material fall through onto a conveyor. There will be what's called a star screener, and you'll see that coming up. So this is a star screener, and this thing, as you can see, it's called that because it has a bunch of shafts and has a lot of stars. Once again, the material that's really thin falls right through and goes into a conveyor belt below. Bigger stuff rides on top of these and gets sent to a discard pile. And these would have to be changed out every couple of months, because they're just rubber and they would wear out, or the bearings would go on them and we'd have to change them out. We'd sometimes get emergency calls in the middle of the night to come and change out a shaft because it's broken. And not the best thing. I did not care for that at all. But the finished product goes into these truck trailers, and then it gets sent to the cure site, where the compost will cure as it just sits there in the sun. And you get a not bad product. I would say it's not that great. It's got a lot of glass in it. They could never find out how to get rid of the glass that's in it. So it always it was not a very high grade of compost, in my opinion. Too much metal in it, too much glass. But yeah, it's and then they would have their own machines that would come out, and they would also make windrows out of this compost and turn it. Can't remember how often, but they would come by and they would turn it maybe once a week. And yeah, that is it. That is the composting facility. So that's there's a lot going on there, and I did a lot of repairs myself and the crew I was with. We would always be called in to make sure things are running tip top, because the breakdown meant that the whole system stopped, and the garbage doesn't stop flowing if something breaks down. If something breaks down, the garbage keeps coming in. The trucks don't stop. The drivers don't care. They just dump it off and they go. They go for their next load, because when you have a city of, I don't know, almost 1 million people. I think there's almost 1 million people in the city. The garbage doesn't stop. They just keep throwing stuff out. Same with the recycling. And we'll probably look at that the next time on the next Trades Talk. We can take a deep dive into the recycling facility, and you can see some of the things I had to deal with there. But yes, composting is a good idea, but your city has to be really devoted to doing it the right way. Because, like I say, I don't think they made a very high grade of compost, so it couldn't be used for really putting on crops or anything like that. You wouldn't want it put on crops or farmers to use it or anything like that. I think it was used mostly for like cleaning up oil spills and stuff like that, or using it to hold down soil on overpasses and stuff like that. The garbage must flow. Exactly. Yeah, you're sifting. That's right, James. You got to sift through it, right? Like being inside a pile of silage for farming folk. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. It did smell. There was a lot of ammonia inside the building. Like I found out what my limit was for parts per million for ammonia, where it would burn my eyes, and it was about 200 parts per million. That's when my eyes would start really burning. But yeah, it's I was not too crazy about dealing with that, but you'd wear your respirator, of course, otherwise it would burn your lungs. And that's, you didn't want that. Anytime ammonia comes into contact with water, it forms a mild acid. So that's what you don't want. But yeah, I think that's about it there. Gonna start wrapping her up here. Hope you guys had a fun time. I know I did. Hope you learned a few things. I'm always here to answer your questions and hopefully show you some neat stuff. I do have one thing I should show you guys. And I'll see if I can find it quick here. Oh, I'm glad you liked it, Gap. It's my pleasure to show you guys stuff like that. Let's see. Just bear with me here. And we'll do this. And we'll do this. This is my one of my shorts I put out. And usually my shorts do okay, but for some reason YouTube killed this. It only got like 48 views. And I'm like, why? What happened? It's like a very short one, and all I'm doing in this video is asking people, what is this? And do any of you know what this is? You might have if you tuned into when I was talking to Blaine on Saturday. Was it Saturday? Sunday. Yeah, it was open anime stream on Sunday, and I was talking with Blaine and DJ Ronnie G and Whoopa. And I showed them this, and I'm like, do you guys know what this is? Anybody? Probably a trade secret. It's not. You guys gotta have some guesses, though. Take a guess. Take a guess what it is. What does it look like? Does it look like a weapon? I'll tell you right now, it's not a weapon. I'm using that little paper towel to cover up. There's the name of it is right on that underneath that paper towel. So some kind of sorting gate, Thor's hammer. No, you can lift this one, Gap. You can lift this one. It's okay. You are worthy. Godzillionaire, you still around? Any ideas? Yeah, cat urine is high in ammonia. That's why it stinks so bad. Ugh. Anyway, probably let you guys in on a secret as to what this is. Thanks, Jay's daddy. So this thing here Can't tell on your phone screen? Okay. So the rule is if you have rail cars, like train rail cars, you need to chalk the wheels as well as use the brakes. So this chalks up the wheels on a rail car to keep them from rolling away. You put one on each side of the wheel. And yeah. And underneath this piece of paper that I put over top, it says chalk. So you can see it from a distance. It's got a bunch of reflective tape around it. And it will let you know if you still have, in case you're moving them at night, you can see that it's still there, and you gotta go over and remove it so that you can move your rail cars. So yes, wheel chocks for a rail car. Heavy duty stuff. Very heavy. But yes. Yeah, very important. You got her, James. It's really important. But yeah, there you go. That is my my YouTube short that YouTube killed. Thanks, YouTube. Anyway. Yeah, I think it's time to wrap her up, everybody. Thanks for coming out. I really appreciate it. I just want to go through a few people. Thank you all for coming. Please hit that like button if you could for me, and subscribe if you haven't already. I want to thank James for coming out. It's good to see you. Jay's daddy. Always good to see you. DJ Ronnie G. I was on DJ Ronnie G's channel yesterday. Make sure you tune in to DJ Ronnie G. He's got some pretty good stuff that he goes through on his streams, like astronomy, and he does a lot of tech stuff. And if you're into Gundam, he's got his Victory Gundam, and I've seen him. He's painting stuff up for it. And thanks a lot for coming out, Gap. Really appreciate you there. And of course, Godzillionaire, it's always good to see you. And was there anybody else? Anybody else that happened to be lurking and listening? Angry Canadian, always good to see you. I'm glad you're all right. I say that because Angry Canadian is in Japan, and they had that earthquake there, so I'm glad Angry Canadian is all right. Yeah, if you were lurking and listening, thanks a lot. I really appreciate it. I hope you had fun. I did. And I will be coming back on Saturday for game day. I'm playing Golden Sun, and man, this game is worthy of the 9 out of 10 score it got. I'll tell you, for the Game Boy Advance, Golden Sun is an excellent game. And then on Sunday Anime Chat, first of the year. I got to figure out a theme, because I don't even know what the theme for January is going to be. I'm going to have to do some real hard thinking here. I'm not sure what to do. No, I'll come up with something anyways. We'll talk about anime on Sunday. So if you like anime, be there. There's other good channels out there too, like Pacific 414 and Blaine's Escape Corner, who's probably streaming right now. It's Blaine streams at 7 p.m. Pacific time. So yeah, he's probably on right now. There's Ronin66, there's DJ Ronnie G, there's Brandon the Anime Guy. So if you like anime, you could go and watch Brandon, because he's got some really good content as well. There's the Nerdporeal Lifeform and Angry Canadian. Our own Woopa Troopa, he has his own channel going on there, and he streams as well. I enjoy his chill streams. And then there's Punkwaddle, who can be found at Floral from Under a Rock on Wednesdays, and also on Snowdub's channel. I have a Discord, it's called The Shop, so that's where all the tradesmen hang out. We hang out at the shop. And that is it, everyone. It was great having you here. I hope to see you all on Saturday. But until then, I've been Pop, and I am signing off.